All right, let's move on to the next flyweight fight that we got coming up, and I'm very interested in this one. I don't get the love on one side. So we got Joseph Benavidez coming in against Askar Askarov. Obviously, last time we know Joseph Benavidez came up short twice against Davison Figueiredo. Askarov, on the other hand, I believe his last victory was against Alexandre Pantoja. We look pretty good. I won't lie about that. But now, the thing about Joseph Benavidez, and we do this in MMA so often, where this guy just has one bad fight and we're just like, fuck this guy. He's washed. He sucks. Let's forget about him. Let's look past the fact that his only ever losses have come against Dominic Cruz, Mighty Mouse Johnson, 2 times to Davison Figueiredo, who's right now running the 125-pound division, and then Sergio Pettis in a very close fight that could have gone Benavidez' way as well, too, and not to mention that he's coming off for a 1.5 year layoff before going into that fight, too. So Benavidez, absolutely doing work on Davison Figueiredo in that first round. And after that headbutt, everything just changes. Now he loses about 5 minutes of fight time. And now everybody wants to completely ditch this guy. And again, against Davison Figueiredo, the 125-pound champion, the scariest man at the lighter weight classes right now. Whereas, the 3 prior fights, he goes out there and beats Alex Perez, coming in as an underdog, goes out there and finishes Alex Perez twice. Thank you, Yves Levine. Then you got, who are the other guys that he beat? He beat, God, why is it not coming off the top of my head right now? Alex Perez, Juicia Formiga knocks him out as well, too. That was a big one.
Dustin Ortiz,
and then Dustin Ortiz. Exactly. Dustin Ortiz was the only one that had enough success on the ground in terms of controlling him for 3 minutes. But all those 3 minutes were the hardest 3 minutes of his life in those positions, because you're talking about scramble master himself, Joseph Benavidez. So where does Askarov beat him here? Does he take him down? Sure, he could take him down. Does he keep him down? Hell to the no. There's no way that he's going to be keeping my guy Joseph Benavidez on the ground. Now, Benavidez can be successful on takedowns against Askarov. We've seen Askarov taken down in every single one of his fights in the UFC thus far. So yeah, Benavidez should be able to get him to the ground. And now if this fight is strictly a stand-up fight, where is this narrative that Askarov is this crazy knockout puncher? Oh, he rocked Tim Elliott on the feet once. Oh, watch out, Joseph Benavidez. You're going to get knocked the fuck out by Mr. Askarov, who apparently has heat in his hands. Decent striker, don't get me wrong, and he looks great against Alexandre Pantoja late in their fight, but Pantoja is clearly compromised at that point. His cardio is not the greatest in third rounds, so he's not reacting enough or quickly enough to truly evade the shots of Askarov. So yeah, Askarov looks great, but is Joseph Benavidez going to slow down? Have you ever seen Joseph Benavidez slow down in a fight outside of Davison Figueiredo taking his life away? But besides that, that Benavidez is always going to give his 100% in every single fight. I think people are reading too far into the narrative of his chin being gone and just, looking too deep into that Davison Figueiredo fight. So I like Benavidez here. I think I like him by decision, which is a great line in itself, which I think is around plus 260. But I think he could potentially get the knockout here too. You've seen Askarov getting touched by Tim Elliott. You see him get touched up by Brandon Moreno. You see him not get knocked down or anything like that, but he's getting a little bit hit up and getting touched up. Whereas Benavidez is going to be the fastest fighter that he's fought to this point in the UFC, and shows that this newer age Benavidez that we've been seeing as of late, he throws heat in his hands. Like, he's fast. He starts off with the calf kicks, try to immobilize his opponent that way, and then comes in with those heavy strikes with his hands. And he's going to be faster than Askarov here. I'd be surprised if we see Askarov beat him to the punch. So yeah, I like Benavidez here. I think the KO prop line is not too egregious. I think it's like plus 580 if I'm not mistaken. Plus 580 on Benavidez to win by KO, plus 530 I should say. But yeah, I like Benavidez in this spot. People are just throwing him to the side way too quickly here. Losing to the 125-pound champion twice is not the worst thing in the world. And Askarov, he could turn out to be quite great, but I think this is a very stiff test. This is the toughest test he's had in the UFC, and I think that Benavidez has him covered pretty much everywhere. Now, unless Benavidez's chin truly has fallen off a cliff, I'd be surprised. I don't think that's going to be the case here. And nothing that we've seen from Askarov leads me to believe that he's going to knock this guy out either. So I got Benavidez. I think the KO is live, but I don't mind that decision prop either at plus 260. How are you seeing this one, dude?
Yeah, I feel you. I got Joseph Benavidez, and I like the Joseph Benavidez by decision on plus 260. I mean, we can jump into it a lot more in depth on tomorrow night's show, but as far as the prop goes, Joseph Benavidez, man, if you told me I got a 36-year-old flyweight for you, you'd be like, I ain't betting him. But it's like, well, it's Joseph Benavidez. It's like, ooh, you've piqued my interest now. Benavidez is one of these guys, like, he's the ageless wonder of the world. His problem is that he's always been the number 2 guy in the world. It doesn't matter who the number 1 guy in the world is. Benavidez will be the number 2 guy to him, right? When it was Cruz, he was number 2 to him. If it's Demetrius Johnson, he was always number 2 to him. And now it's Davison Figueiredo. It's like, it's the same thing. He's number 2 to him. he actually has a win over Henry Cejudo. That's as big of a win as it gets. If Henry would have stayed the champion, maybe they could have set up a Benavidez versus Henry Cejudo rematch. Like maybe that would have gotten him over the line. But I mean, we got a guy that's he's 0-4 in title fights. Like that kind of writes it up for himself. He can get there. He's like the Kenny Florian of the division. He can get there. It's like he just can't quite get over the hump. But if you give him anybody less than the world champion, man, he goes out there and he's got skills everywhere. As far as being a 36-year-old flyweight, you start to lose your speed, but he's as fast as anybody. That's one thing he's always had. His wrestling is second to none. He can wrestle with all the guys in the division. Think about even takedown defense. You mentioned, well, could he get taken down? We have seen him get taken down. Henry Cejudo went 1 for 7 in takedowns over Joseph Benavidez. Like Benavidez can wrestle with the best guys. He can strike with the best guys. Where he gets in trouble is striking with the best guys who got some power. And, DJ wasn't really known for his power, more his precision, but it's like, he hits him, he puts him down. Henry actually did drop him, didn't knock him out, but he got hurt in that fight. Davidson Figueiredo knocked him out twice in the first fight with the headbutt, and then just the nastiest right hand. Like, clearly, dude's checking this cut on his face.
Yeah.
And then,
what's this?
What? Doesn't remember either of them, right? But that's a double concussion fight. And then his biggest problem, in my opinion, is he took the rematch with Figueiredo 5 months after a double concussion. He wasn't quite ready. And you see in the second fight, he's just a lot shakier. So I enjoy that even though he's a little bit older, he's taken off 8 months after the second knockout loss, recoup, come back into this spot, clear the cobwebs. And then, I think you mentioned it great. It's like, well, where does Askar Askarov's path to victory here? Well, he's gonna outstrike Joseph Benavidez. Like, dude, I don't know about that. He's low output. He's not really a striker for himself. Joseph Benavidez has got much more technical boxing. He's got decent light kicks, but he's got the better pace, right? And he should be able to push forward, outpace this guy. It's like, okay, well, Askarov's not really a striker, but he likes to wrestle. It's like, dude, did you not hear about the Henry Cejudo struggle to take this guy down? And again, this is another point that you brought up. Even if you do take him down, holding him down is a completely different animal.
Nope. Yeah.
As far as these ground transitions go, Benavidez is going to have a lot of success. If he scores the takedown over Askarov, he's going to grapple him. But with Askar Askarov, you see in the Brandon Moreno fight and in the Pantoja fight, he's got a knack for giving up his back. He's got a knack for, in these scrambles, giving up a bad spot. And I think Joseph Benavidez can capitalize that. So Benavidez can win on the feet with his boxing. He can win on the ground with better wrestling and just better grappling all around. There's paths there for him. And again, with Askarov, you look at the debut, right? He makes a debut against Brandon Moreno. Tough debut. I'm driving the train. I love Askar Askarov. I watched him fight in Russia. He's got skills everywhere. He's an excellent wrestler, great transitions. He's one of these undefeated, tough, how do you break this guy? The Brandon Moreno fight, I was so unbelievably happy to get that draw, my friend, because he didn't win the fight, right? And again, MMA decisions is not everything, but it's really telling when 14 media members scored for Moreno. 5 of them had it 30-27. One guy scored the fight for Askar Askarov. And then the judges' scorecards, again, they make no sense. One guy's got Askar Askarov losing 30-27. He's lost all 3 rounds to Brandon Moreno. The other guy's got him winning 2 rounds and losing the third, so he scores it for him. And the third guy has him winning the first 2 rounds and a 10-8 in the third. A 10-8. So you rewatch the third in particular, and it's like he gives up his back, right? So again, I think Joseph Benavidez could have paths here. People like writing off Joseph Benavidez because it's like, man, that guy's sleeping with Megan O'Leary. Fuck him. Like, he's easy to hate, right? Fuck, this guy's got it all. But it's like, he deserves it, man. He's one of the good guys of the game. He's fought for a very long time. He's been at the highest part of the mountain multiple times and never quite gets there. Everyone would say the saying is always a bridesmaid, never a bride. That really is Joseph Benavidez. But this is what he wants to do. There's nothing in this world that Joseph Benavidez wants to do more than compete. He just wants to go out there and compete. He wants to compete against the best guys. He wants to fight the best guys. And his entire record is fighting the best guys. Askar Askarov, Moreno, that was a very high-level fight. Next time out, winnable spot for him. And then again, against Pantoja, I thought he looked good, but he's low striking output. He does get taken down. He doesn't clearly – he wins the fight. I was happy from that spot. Again, it's another spot I had him betting. But he doesn't cruise. So if you want to give me plus money on Joby one, I'll take it. But then it's like, you know what, Joe, he's only plus 100. Maybe you should just take a pass. But it's like, well, his path to victory, here's the decision. And you mentioned it. We're on the same page. 260. Joseph Benavidez by decision. Oh, man, absolutely. Listen, it's a close fight. We know that. And if Askar Askarov wins, him by decision is no hell of a price. But Joseph Benavidez, they're really juicing you up pretty good here. Is the guillotine live? Man, it's going to be hard to submit Askar Askarov. Is the knockout live? I mean, it's going to be hard to knock out Askar Askarov. So if he is going to get this win, he's going to go out there and put the pace on him. Make it like the Dustin Ortiz fight. Make it like some of these fights where you're just able to grind through on the guy and come out on the other side. I think even though he's 36 8-month layoff. He should be able to get the job done. And if there's one little thing that I needed, the last little thing that I needed, a close fight, go the decision, go to Joseph Benavidez. Man, he's not an alpha male anymore. He's full-time out of Las Vegas for the last couple of years now. Fights in Las Vegas. He routinely spends a lot of time at the Performance Institute. He's used to the cage. They're flyweights, so small cage, big cage doesn't really matter. But yeah, he's got Megan O'Leary in his side. The judges are going to score it for him. In a close fight, we're going with the old 36-year-old American, fought and hard for us, bled for us, wife's a mega babe, instead of this Russian guy with 2 first names coming in. That's what I'm hoping. That's my greasy theory. Is like, even if it is a close fight, just come on, give it to Joseph. But I'm going to agree. I think it's a dog-worthy play. I'll take the dog, and I'm going to go with that plus 260 by Joseph Benavidez by decision.
Apparently, I'm smoking some really good shit to even throw out the fact that Joseph Benavidez can win this fight by knockout. But people are overlooking the fact that this guy has 2 knockouts in his last 3 wins. Like, the guy's throwing heat in his shots. It's not like completely out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, I do believe the most likely outcome here is the decision, and the fact that you're getting plus 260 on it is just an absolutely amazing. Like, I'm trying to remember the last time we could get Benavidez to win by decision at that type of line, like when he's going into fights at these close of odds. So yeah, I do like Benavidez. I might take a little bit of a sprinkle on that KO prop at plus 530. I think it is a little bit live here, but yeah, the safest spot I would say would be the decision.